c'est pas des manifestations islamistes, c'est des manifestations palestiniennes, c'est complètement différent.
Et comment vous expliquez les prières de rue?
Quand vous avez vu les prières de rue?
I read the Quran, I read the Hadith, I read the Surah. It's very, very hard to discuss with them because they don't even want to hear you. They don't want to debate. They don't want to discuss. They just want to impose. And that's very hard.
If people are doing this, you have to be stronger than them. Wave more flags, say, we are Canada, we are Quebec. We don't want to see Palestinian flag. I don't want to see it on Green Avenue, all over the streets.
Lavoie for Rebel News, and I'm standing at the corner of Green Avenue and de Maisonneuve Boulevard in Westmount, covering another demonstration organized by activist Mandana Javan, originally from Iran. This time, it's about respect for others, especially seniors who are being affected by the Islamist protesters. In their statement, it reads, and I quote, "Regardless of the status of these Islamist demonstrators, refugees, foreign students, or temporary workers, their freedom of expression does not give them the right to verbally assault entire neighborhood or to destroy the quality of life of our seniors." This area is said to be a frequent gathering spot for the protesters, just steps away from senior residents.
Can you believe this? Can you believe it again? Wood Avenue, and they're back.
We are here to speak with the demonstrators, so let's go and listen to them.
So it was brought to our attention that in the last 23 months, a lot of the people living in this area have been harassed and subjected to hate speech and denied the use and enjoyment of their property. They come with really, as you heard Mandana say, very, very loud equipment, very, very high decibels, all in contravention of the bylaws and the laws of Montreal and Westmount, and there hasn't been enough done for the people. So they've been coming here during weekdays now and standing on this corner. And so everybody here who cares about Quebec and about having rights and freedoms, though that are limited within a free and democratic society, are here to protect the people and to protect Quebec.
I walk across the street every week and there's chalk all over the sidewalks and the police are standing and doing nothing about them defacing the city and organizing all kinds of hate stuff.
Do you feel safe?
Some people don't feel safe. I happen not to be a scaredy cat. But people don't feel safe. A lot of people are afraid of wearing a Jewish star. A lot of people are taking their Jewish signs off their doors because they don't feel safe. And this is so good because they're standing up for the other side and for what they're doing in Quebec, and no one ever said anything before, no matter who complained about marching and spending money on the police.
Very important because these people are taking more and more space and they're not even asking us, they're just imposing their rules. And we are in democracy. It's very important that we stand for our rights and that this kind of imposition is not, I mean, in English we used to say when we were kids, who died and made him king? Nobody did. And all of a sudden they come in and they say, we're the king. Yeah, no, nobody voted for you, they don't even know what a vote is anyway in there. And so I know a lot of the laws. I read the Quran, I read the Hadith, I read the Surah. It's very, very hard to discuss with them because they don't even want to hear you. They don't want to debate. They don't want to discuss. They just want to impose. And that's very hard.
I live around here. I worked on Green Avenue. To see Palestinian flags everywhere. What the Palestinians did when they had the encampment at McGill. McGill has to rebrand its name because of that. It's insane. They never get permits. The police always say they have rights. And I'm like, we have rights. We pay taxes for you to enforce Canadian law. Look what they did at Concordia. They broke the windows. Even like about a year ago, they had like a riot at night. And they threw Molotov cocktails at the Montreal police. They're like, we arrested one of them, or two of them. I said, big deal. They get out, and it's just, it continues. We're sick of it. I'm so happy that I see this, because really, Anglophones are just like, everybody seems to be too afraid. Too many laws that you can't, you're Islamophobic, you're racist, you're this. You can't share things on the internet. You're like, what's happening to this good country? For God's sakes, we live here. And just to see those flags, it drives me crazy. I can't stand it. And even, I called 4 MPs' office, Liberal MPs.
Vous trouvez que c'est pas vrai les manifestations qu'on voit dans les rues qui chantent des slogans antisémites?
Non, c'est pas vrai ça. Je veux pas être sur les nouvelles, merci.
Mais pouvez-vous me dire qu'est-ce que...
Non, merci.
Si vous dites que c'est pas vrai, pouvez-vous me dire qu'est-ce qui est vrai?
C'est votre devoir de le faire, c'est pas mon devoir.
Ben moi, j'ai été témoin de ces manifestations-là.
Moi aussi, je travaille juste là, je suis témoin à chaque jour. Je veux pas être sur les nouvelles.
Ben vous dites que c'est pas vrai, je veux savoir votre côté.
Je vous dis seulement c'est pas vrai. C'est à vous de faire vos recherches, c'est pas à moi de vous montrer les recherches.
Ben vous les avez vues, les manifestations?
Bien sûr, c'est pas des manifestations islamistes, c'est des manifestations palestiniennes, c'est complètement différent.
Et comment vous expliquez les prières de rue?
Quand vous avez vu les prières de rue. Je veux pas être sur les
Je
nouvelles.
les couvre tous les dimanches, monsieur.
Merci. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Tous les dimanches, il y a une prière de rue, monsieur.
Bonne journée.
Monsieur est dans le déni. Vous êtes dans l'espace public, monsieur. On peut filmer tout ce qu'on veut. On est au Canada, un pays libre. How do you explain that there's many politicians who actually mention the problems, but Valérie Plante and the city don't do anything?
You tell me. What it tells us is not to vote for them, but how do I explain it? Are they for the other people, or are they just for those people?
Yes, it's too bad that it's easier probably to do nothing than it is to do something. But the rule of law must apply in every case. And the citizens of Quebec and the residents of this area, everybody has to remain safe. And it's really an abdication of responsibility not to take more action.
The police is not helping at all. They're sending the hot potato between Madame Plante. She's sending it to him. He's sending it to her, and so we don't know who to blame, really. And there's no power. We lost the power as citizens in Montreal. We don't have any more power.
Maybe it's innately they agree with them. Why else would they not enforce Canadian law, enforce Quebec law? We have protests that are unending until Israel does what they're told by the Palestinians? I'm just like so horrified that I'm dumbfounded that we could be so sort of weak. I mean, everybody knows Valérie Plante is not exactly the best mayor de Montreal. And then people say, well, she'll be out. I said, she's doing so much damage that she's done to Montreal, and she doesn't stand up for these things. I mean, we know, you almost want to say that she is almost, you know.
Bon, pourquoi aujourd'hui on est ici? Parce que après l'événement, après les manifestations qu'on a eues, malheureusement, il y a eu certains commentateurs dans les médias traditionnels qui sont sortis pour dire que c'est pas vrai, il n'y en a pas tant de prières, il ne faut pas que les gens dans les régions ont peur. Alors, qu'est-ce qui est arrivé depuis quelques jours? J'ai été informée que ça fait plus de 23 mois que dans cette intersection, il y a un groupe islamiste qui va arriver avec des mégaphones et des haut-parleurs. Et vous voyez, les bâtisses ici à côté sont des résidents où la plupart des citoyens sont des personnes âgées. Alors, ils vont commencer à hurler, crier, insulter, livrer des discours de haine contre les Juifs, contre, vous le savez, tout le reste. Et ils finissent par des prières islamiques collectives de rue. Puis on parle 4 à 5 fois par semaine.
Ici, il y a des bâtisses qui sont pleines de personnes âgées et ils n'ont plus de vie, de paix, de sérénité, de dignité depuis plus de 23 mois. Alors, je me suis dit, ça serait une bonne idée d'organiser justement à tous ces emplacements-là, une fois par semaine, à différents emplacements où ces militants révolutionnaires islamistes se rencontrent, ils font ce genre de manifestation et ils se terminent toujours par une prière collective islamiste en plein rue pour justement documenter avec les journalistes, avec les gens, il y a combien de quartiers qui souffrent de ce phénomène-là depuis près de 3 ans.
J'ai jamais vu ça. Personnellement, peut-être quelqu'un va me dire que ça. Mais peut-être ça existe dans un parc.
Peut-être pas à Victoriaville, mais peut-être à Montréal, certainement.
Peut-être à Montréal, dans quelques endroits. Mais là, je reste à Montréal depuis 6 mois. Je me promène un peu partout. J'ai peut-être quelqu'un dans un parc là, qui a décidé de pratiquer sa religion là, mais il n'a pas dérangé personne.
So how do you explain and how did you react to see the mainstream media and some probably left-leaning columnists or maybe journalists are trying to banalize what is happening, like trying to say, oh no, it's not a big deal, it's not really often, and it's not a national issue.
Right. Well, I think that it's easier to say that and have some sort of cognitive dissonance than it is to actually take action and wake up and do something about it. So I know a lot of people who've told me themselves that are targets of this kind of hate, and they would rather ignore it because it's the easier thing to do. But the time has come, I think, that we realize that it's becoming more and more dangerous for us to go about our daily lives and live in a peaceful society, that we have to stand up and say something. And we have to come together. We can't wait till it affects us directly, and we can't wait till we have more courage. We just have to somehow find the courage and find our voices and come together and do what's right.
Some man just did that when I was walking this way from Atwater. I saw it. And of course, he's like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, what do you mean, what's the big deal? I said, we live in Canada. It's not, Canadians don't sort of wave their flag that much, right? I said, I am American. Americans are flag-waving lunatics, right? I said, I assimilated into liberal Canada. And I said, these people, I think they come here and people are downgrading it. I mean, how could they downgrade it? I said, do you agree with these people? I'm horrified. And then they just sort of like, oh, you're too emotional. You get too upset. Calm down. And I'm like, you're wrong. I said, we have to, if people are doing this, you have to be stronger than them. Wave more flags, say, we are Canada, we are Quebec. We don't want to see Palestinian flag. I don't want to see it on Green Avenue, all over the streets, on McGill. Look what they did to McGill. And people are like, oh, we're doing our best. I said, if this is your best.
I would advise them to read the Quran. That's what I would say. Because they are either blind or ignorant. And unfortunately, ignorance is a big source of all these problems. I say education, education, education. This has to be very important. And I wish we could educate most of the people. And I see many French Canadians having enough and wanting to get rid of this thing. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but we're making an effort, and I hope we're inspiring the rest of Canada.
What the other Western countries, as well as Canada, can learn from Quebecers?
I think they can learn resilience and pride and dignity, attachment and a pride in their history, and a certain relentlessness and determination not to let it stray too far from the Quebec consciousness.
Now they can learn about standing up and not just letting it go by and making little of this. I think I'm very proud of this group.
Well, Quebecers are very good at protesting and standing up and fighting for their rights, right? Yes. I mean, they're right. I'm going to go to Notre Dame on Sunday. I mean, to see them praying in Arabic in front of that great cathedral that everybody almost in the world knows. You're like, how is this even possible? We wouldn't do that the other way. We're too ethical. We're too, I guess we're just better people. These people, what are we supposed to do? Like, even when Mr. Legault said, too many immigrants now, we know what he's talking about. They let them here. They brought them here. And now there's too many? You didn't realize what these people stood for? This is what drives me insane.
Thanks for watching. You can still sign our petition at deportamas.com. So at Rebel News, we believe that if you are here and you're not a Canadian citizen and you are on the street chanting anti-Semitic slogan, or you're here and you're supporting terrorist organization, you should be deported back in your country. So go and sign it at deportamas.com right now.